Now, Ghana's maiden edition of the Leadership Summit under the auspices of the Global Leadership Group. Now, I'm finding a very nice way to welcome him because I've been threatened behind the scenes, but thank you so much for joining us. We are grateful.
Thank you, my boss.
First of all, tell us a bit about Global Leadership Group. Let me speak to you about that, Prof.
All right, so the Global Leadership Group is an international organization, not only in Ghana, but we find ourselves in other parts of Africa and also Europe and America. So the intent of this group is to grow leaders who are ethical in modern parlance. So we bring moral plus leadership together to ensure that we are not just building leaders for organizations, but we are building ethical leaders who suit our current challenges and problems.
Right.
You know, we have transitioned from different forms of leadership, but at Global Leadership Group, we believe that we need to grow more ethical leaders, leaders who are more responsible, leaders who are more focused, and leaders who are more oriented towards modern ways of doing things.
As HR, what conversation should we be having about things like this?
Thank you very much, and good afternoon to everyone watching us. So building high-performing teams. So we can add high-performing teams and even leaders, you know. So a lot of times, companies do things somehow, anyhow, you know. Yes, I'll explain that. So before you set up anything, or company or business or a department or something, you should have the purpose that you are seeking to achieve. When you have that purpose clearly spelled out, then by that you know the kind of people or the caliber of employees or leaders who can run that expectation, who can make sure that goal is achieved.
So just don't get up and because you think you qualify through academics or through marks or grades, you are fit to be in the position of a leader. No, it takes more than that. So we need to dive into all the things that goes into making someone a credible leader, a trust.
Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening to our cherished viewers, depending on which side of the globe you are watching us from. This is Global Leadership Group, and once in a month by this time, we bring you creme de la creme resource person to give you guidance, give you very important points in building capacity of leaders, because we believe that if the leaders are well equipped, they can always build the capacity of their followers so that whatever dream or whatever goal their companies or their teams are supposed to achieve will easily be possible. So we are honored to have you join us, this special edition, focused on a very powerful principle, the role of gratitude in leadership, recognizing and celebrating success. In leadership, gratitude is more than politeness. It's a strategy that builds trust, strengthens teams, improves morale, and inspires sustained performance. Leaders who practice gratitude create environments where people feel seen, valued, and motivated to excel. Tonight, we will explore how gratitude can transform leadership and organizational culture through recognition and celebration of success. At this point, I'm so glad and it's my great honor to introduce our guest speaker for today's section in the person of a distinguished leader with experience in leadership. In fact, he's a guru. He's a guru. His name is Mr. Michael Atu York. Hello, Mr. York. You are very welcome to our program. And I'd like you to use some minutes to introduce yourself properly to us. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Happy. Those were very kind words, and I'm grateful. And okay, so thank you very much for the opportunity to engage on this subject, this very important subject. And I'm quite enthused about engaging all of us to be able to appreciate and,
Mr. No, please. I think you are muted. I think you are muted.
I'm actually not.
No.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Hello.
Yes,
Hello,
can you hear
Mr.
me?
York? No.
Can you hear me? Hello? Can you hear me?
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Hello.
Yes,
Hello,
I can
Mr.
hear you,
York?
Happy.
No.
I can hear you.
Sorry, my viewers. I think there's a little hitch. We are working on it. Hello, Mr. York.
Yes, Happy, I can hear you. I can hear you clearly.
Coming up, leadership time. Coming up, leadership time. Coming up, leadership time.
Now, Ghana's maiden edition of the Leadership Summit under the auspices of the Global Leadership Group. Now, I'm finding a very nice way to welcome him, because I've been threatened behind the scenes, but thank you so much for joining us. We are grateful.
Thank you, my boss.
First of all, tell us a bit about Global Leadership Group. Let me speak to you about that, Prof.
All right, so the Global Leadership Group is an international organization, not only in Ghana, but we find ourselves in other parts of Africa and also Europe and America. So the intent of this group is to grow leaders who are ethical in modern parlance. So we bring moral plus leadership together to ensure that we are not just building leaders for organizations, but we are building ethical leaders who suit our current challenges and problems.
Right.
You know, we have transitioned from different forms of leadership, but at Global Leadership Group, we believe that we need to grow more ethical leaders, leaders who are more responsible, leaders who are more focused, and leaders who are more oriented towards modern ways of doing things.
As HR, what conversation should we be having about things like this?
Thank you very much, and good afternoon to everyone watching us. So building high-performing teams. So we can add high-performing teams and even leaders, you know. So, a lot of times, companies do things somehow, anyhow, somehow, anyhow. Yes, I'll explain that. So before you set up anything, or company or business or a department or something, you should have the purpose that you are seeking to achieve. When you have that purpose clearly spelled out, then by that you know the kind of people or the caliber of employees or leaders who can run that expectation, who can make sure that goal is achieved.
So just don't get up and because you think you qualify through academics or through marks or grades, you are fit to be in the position of a leader. No, it takes more than that. So we need to dive into all the things that goes into making someone a credible leader, a trust.
So we are very sorry to our viewers for this technical hitch. I hope everything is fine now. Okay. So,
Happy, can you hear
hello,
me?
Mr. Yo, please, you were introducing yourself to us.
Can you hear me, Happy? Happy, can you hear me? Happy, can you hear me?
Mr. York, please, can you hear me?
Yes, I can clearly hear you.
Okay. If you can hear me, kindly introduce yourself to our viewers. I don't know what's happening, but
Yeah, but can you hear
kindly
me?
introduce yourself.
All right. So my name is Michael York, Michael Atuyok, and I'm happy to be part of this leadership, journey, and to have been called upon to engage and discuss the role of gratitude in leadership. At this stage, I would like to share my screen.
All right. Thank you very much for the introduction. Thank you, sir. Please, my first question to you is, what does gratitude mean to you as a leader, and how has it shaped your leadership journey, please?
Well, so gratitude means a lot, and I think that every leader must learn this basic leadership principle. For me, leadership gratitude is something that is intentional, helping people to know that their contribution matters. Gratitude is not simply an emotion, of course, but it's a leadership discipline, and what it means is that seeing people before seeing results. It also means that appreciating efforts as well as achievements, building relationships before demanding performance, and of course, most importantly, also recognizing that every success is a team success. It's extremely important that we know these things. And for me, working in corporate space, I've had the opportunity to learn through the years how I have to be grateful and the role of gratitude in the work I do, and even building teams and engaging teams in the work that we do and making sure that we achieve our goals. Gratitude has played a lot, and I'll be happy to engage and then discuss other questions that can really take us into a deeper match into the discussion.
Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for that insight. So, how does gratitude influence team performance and workplace culture, please?
Well, gratitude plays a critical role, like I said, in leadership. And for the role for the way it influences team performance is quite great. I've been able to look at extensively how this has played, largely in the work that I've done over the years and how I've engaged, colleagues and other colleagues, other people, whether they are other external stakeholders or other team members. First of all, a leader must appreciate. You must be intentional about this. You must recognize what your people do. You must make people feel valued, and then create a trust environment. Or whilst you're doing this, you are building trust within the team and among the larger group of stakeholders that you work with. Whilst you're doing that, it also creates this internal motivation or increases motivation within your team. It then would make people feel belonged, and then will be more willing to collaborate within the team. Of course, this would definitely lead to improved performance, and then also once you have been able to achieve your goal, then you can celebrate the successes. And then, in the larger sense, this affects the organizational culture. People begin to feel belonged. People feel that, look, if I know that when I do something in this organization and it's positive, I'll be recognized. And then when new members or new people come into the organization, they get along and they get to know the culture, and then they get along and they feel belong, and things continue to gel, and people continue to work better, people continue to collaborate better, and so on and so forth. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Mr. York. Thank you. So, please, what are some of the practical ways
Yeah.
that leaders can show gratitude beyond saying thank you?
Right. It's true that we have to show gratitude beyond just saying thank you to people. But more often than not, this is really what we do. But I think that to be efficient and effective leaders, we need to go beyond that. I could talk about the fact that we need to notice efforts. When people do things, when people are able to go the extra mile and get certain things done, let us recognize those efforts and not just, when they make mistakes. Let's recognize their contribution. Often people would want to, even when they are recognizing and being grateful for something positive another has done, what they usually would do is to do it in private. But sometimes it's also important to do it publicly. Let's create opportunities, for others to grow. There are people and there are bosses, there are leaders who feel that, they will just stifle or make sure that people don't grow, people don't get opportunities to get enlightened and also, set themselves to grow. But it's important that we create opportunities for others to grow by, ensuring that we even lead them to these opportunities that they can take advantage of. Let's invest in people. So one of the way of showing gratitude, or we could show gratitude to our team members. If, for example, there is a course, there is a program, you feel that when the person attends, it will bring value to the team and the organization. You can pay for the person to attend the workshop or attend some specialized training, and they'll feel loved, they'll feel belong. That way, when people feel that we are investing in them, it works better. It creates this internal edge and internal interest within for them to continue to work hard and then feel that they can stay with the organization long term. We should also celebrate milestones. If you have been able to do your audit accounts, for example, your final accounts, you've invited, the draft is ready, the auditors have come in, you have been able to get the audit report ready, it's gone to the board for approval, it's been published, and so on and filed. This is a big deal. And so it's important that in meetings and spaces where you can recognize such great milestones, you can do that. You can make sure that people, are recognized for the immense contribution that they have played in getting things done and things done on time. Recognition is not an event. It's actually must be seen and developed as a culture within the organization.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. So, I'd like to know how leaders can ensure that recognition and celebration of success, right, is fair and consistent.
Well, I believe that recognition should be built, on 4 principles. First, transparency, consistency, inclusiveness. And then the last I'll mention is a warning principle. So I feel that, everybody must know what you are recognizing. Everybody must know it. What has the person done in particular that we are recognizing and showing our gratitude and love for that particular thing? It must be known. And when people know, they are identified better. And okay, so he did this and he was recognized and appreciated and promoted and he enjoyed this benefit. Okay, then it means that I can do that or even more. We must be consistent in recognition. Recognition, happens regularly. It must happen regularly, not out of the blue or once in a long time, once a year, once in 2 years or 5 years. but it must happen regularly. And for me, one of the things I have done with my team is that when we have team meetings on Mondays, before the meetings, I reflect on the previous week and try to identify one or two things that I can appreciate the team about and recognize them for getting those things done. Another principle we can look at is inclusiveness. I think that when people feel included, they work better. And so I would say that let's not recognize people who we feel are at our level and we can identify easily with just our friends or senior managers. We must feel that we must look at the drivers, we must look at the other team members who make sure that the space we work are clean and they make the space conducive for us to come, and we must be included. Celebrate both visible and quiet contributors, and it's very, very important. But let's know that recognition loses its value when people believe it's based on favoritism. Is you only recognize people or you show gratitude to people only when probably, okay, this person is my friend, is my colleague from a previous organization. We work so much well together and things like that. Or probably this is a friend to another friend. No, we must make sure that we don't become, we are not, what do you call it? We don't show favoritism in recognizing the efforts that people put up in getting things done in the organization. And I would always suggest that, we usually should take a step back and reflect, who have I thanked recently. We should all take time and look at how far we have fallen from recognizing people and showing gratitude. Is there anything I have overlooked? Which quiet contributor deserves recognition? I remember one time I was traveling it was a long distance, a cross-country trip with one of our drivers then. And when he drives and he's meeting a pothole that he cannot avoid, he would use the side of the car where I am sitting to bump into the pothole. And I was getting concerned. And when we stopped for lunch, I made sure I paid for his lunch. And the rest of the ride, I enjoyed a smooth ride. But it's not just about paying for his lunch, but during the conversation or during the time we were having the lunch, I had a soft discussion and tried to appreciate how many years he's worked with the organization and made him feel so important about the fact that he's able to drive and engage people, cross country to project sites and all of that. And he was quite happy that, I recognize his effort. But usually people like that, we easily forget to acknowledge the role, the immense role that they play, even in the work that we do. Leadership begins with awareness. So I would always encourage us to step back and make sure that we reflect and pick up from where we feel we have fallen short of.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Mr. Michael York. Please, I'd like to find out from you, okay,
Sure.
that can gratitude help leaders manage challenges? Sorry, pressure and difficult team? If yes, how?
Absolutely. Gratitude reminds people we are making progress. It reminds people that their work matters. It reminds people that we are facing challenges together. And most importantly, every contribution, they know that every contribution counts. It is important that we do this, as we strive and work together and make sure that we achieve the organizational goals. We have to get focused and make sure that people are recognized and feel that belongingness, in the work that they do. And they would always forever feel, as part of the organization and continue to contribute anytime. During crisis, grateful leaders create hope, really. and resilience, emotional stability, team unity. I remember in one practical case that happened in my office, we were migrating from one ERP to the other, and people were not familiar with the new ERP, and they were dejected, they were discouraged, they didn't feel that they had the requisite skills to use the new ERP. But during team meetings, I assured them, I made sure that I got experts who would engage the team, do training for them, and do some hand holding through the migration process. And this created some hope in them that, oh no, yes, we can do it. They were they were quite excited, and even later they were coming back to me and now showing me what more they could even do with their new system. And this is some of the things we have to do as leaders, and ensuring that we create hope in the hearts of people. Let us make them feel that it is possible, and people will come along. John Maxwell said that leadership is all about influence, nothing more, nothing less. So that is really what we are called to do as leaders. Leadership principle: people must rarely, leave. People rarely leave difficult work. People are not leaving because, the work they have to do is difficult or they cannot do it. But often people leave because there is no recognition. They don't feel belong. They don't feel recognized. They don't feel loved. And so it is our role as leaders to make sure that we get this thing, we get this thing done well, and make sure that people are happy and people, see their contribution recognized. All right.
Right. Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. York. Thank you so much for all the insightful points you are giving to us. We are going on a short break, after which
Sure.
we will return. Thank you very much.
And it goes like this. We're gonna hit your car and your pizza kiss me. We'll talk for hours and lie on the backseat. And we won't have the night when everything changes. You won't reply, I'll go back to strangers.
Hello. Welcome back. Welcome back. I'd like to read some comments from our viewers. Francis King 2629 said, yes, we can. I'm sure he was commenting on a point that Mr. York made. And then Daniel said, "We can hear you." I think that was when we were having an electrical, technical hitch. And then Daniel said, "We can hear you." And Mr. Notice also said, "We can hear him very well." Okay, so Daniel said, "Hello, happy, we can hear both of you." Francis said, "The power of appreciation, very important element in team growth." Yes, that's true. In God we trust said, "Recognition must be made known to others." That is true. Thank you, Mr. York. Francis 2629 said, "The need for inclusiveness. No no adidija. No, I think it will be no adidija." All right. Thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah. So back to our honorable guest speaker, Mr. York. Hello, sir.
I can clearly hear you, Happy.
Okay. So please, what common mistakes leaders make when trying to recognize or appreciate people? What are
Right,
some of them? Yes, please.
right, Happy. It is true that, leaders make very common mistakes when recognizing people. And for purposes of time, I'll just talk about four common mistakes. One mistake we usually make as leaders is that appreciating only top performers. We usually appreciate those who we feel have have done something that has gone through the roof and is so visible for everybody to see. But that shouldn't be the case. The cleaner who cleans the washroom, the kitchen, and the sitting area and your office, if they don't come, you can imagine how you'll be able to work, or how you will not be able to work in the office. If you come to the office and the washroom is in a mess, the kitchen is in a mess, your office is not swept and it's not clean, you cannot work very well. And so we shouldn't just recognize high performance, but the silent people, the silent contributors as well, those whose efforts, are not visible in a report that goes to a donor. We must recognize that. We must recognize drivers. One other mistake we make is that we usually wait till the end of the year. Most corporate institutions are liable with this. They wait till the end of the year before they award and recognize and show gratitude for the efforts and contributions that people have made. We cannot do that. We should make this a habit and a culture in our organization. It can be daily, it can be weekly, it can be monthly. I know very well in some offices, at the end of every month, they print the picture of the best worker of the month and they paste it, and everybody sees it, and encourages others to work. Another mistake that we usually make when we are recognizing people is that we give praise without sincerity. And we think people don't know. People know. And they know because we ourselves, we talk. When we have given the open gratitude and we know we don't mean it, you go back to your office and you are telling your confidant that, oh, this thing is just by the way, I really don't mean it. It's just for the cameras, it's just for the crowd. No, we must mean it. And let's not assume that when we don't mean things, people don't know. People know that we don't mean it, and that even kills their spirit the more. One last mistake, or the fourth one, is forgetting loyal and quiet contributors. I think I've just given examples to explain this. We should not forget, loyal and quiet contributors. There are people, there are cleaners, there are drivers, they've been with the organization for 20 years, 15 years, 35 years. Some of them were with the organization and they gave birth to all their children, and they are still there. Let's find a way of recognizing them and see how we get around others also who we cannot clearly identify their contribution, but we know that the little they do still go in a long way to support the work and help us to achieve the goals we want to achieve. One of our lady Ghanaian musicians, one of the songs that she sang was "The Little Things That You Do Make Me Love You More." And I think that is a great message. We should look at not the big things, but look at the little things also. And let's make sure that we put in systems to recognize what people do. Just a leadership reminder, gratitude delayed is often gratitude denied. We must not delay showing appreciation. Let us do things in their time, and people will love us for it.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We have another two comments from our viewers. Happy Anochi Support 3759 says, I love this talk show. I'm sure he or she is learning a lot from it. And then
Right.
in God we trust. Says leaders must recognize efforts made by all level of employees. That is
Wonderful.
very true. Very
Wonderful.
true.
All
Very
levels.
true.
All
Thank
levels.
you. Thank you. So, Mr. York,
Yes.
so if you were to advise young or emerging leaders,
Right.
what are 3 simple gratitude practices they can start right from today?
Well, so I would advise every young person or every young leader to look at building 3 main habits. First of all, when you go to work or with your family or in any corporate space or wherever you find yourself, try and notice one person's contribution every day. You know, like I explained earlier, showing gratitude must be, a culture. It must be part of us. It must be part of our daily life. So let's build one habit by trying to notice one person's contribution every single day. Habit 2, let's express appreciation immediately and sincerely. So aside recognizing or trying to identify the contribution that people bring, it doesn't end there. We must consciously and intentionally express appreciation immediately, or even if it is later. It should not be too long, and we must be sincere about it. Then the third habit I would encourage, and I encourage young people to build is that they must learn to celebrate progress, not only perfection. You know, some of us, we are perfectionists. We want things to be done in the best and in the most perfect way. But that is not the real world. People have to learn and go through a process. And so it is important that we learn to celebrate the little successes that people, are able to do for us. We have to try and recognize them and make sure that that recognition is not done in secret, but also in public, so that people will feel loved and belong. You know, small acts of gratitude produce lasting, relationship influence. And I have ever gave an example in this discussion that there are people who have lived and worked, in organizations for over 20 years. And it's because they've done that because they have always shown gratitude. Their work and contribution is acknowledged and is not just pushed under the desk. People feel belonged. People feel they would want to stay and work for more years, go out of their way to make sure that they get things done, get others to come along when they have shown gratitude or when they are appreciated and when the contribution they bring, are recognized and also noticed. Let me just add, shortly to this discussion about some meaning of the word grateful that I developed. That if we take the word grateful, if we take the word G, I would want to say that let's give recognition intentionally. If we take the R in the grateful, respect every contribution. If we take the A in grateful, appreciate effort, not only results. If we take the T in grateful, thank people sincerely. If we take the E, encourage continuous growth, foster fairness and inclusion with F. With the U in grateful, we uplift others during difficult times. And then the L, we lead by example. We must be visible. We must show gratitude, and not in secret, but in the open. We must show love. We must show appreciation, and not only those who are high performers, but those who are silent contributors. And I'm sure we'll be able to create an environment, a working space, that is welcoming, that is encouraging, that people feel belong. When people feel belong, they own the processes, they own the work they do, and they easily can bring people along, and then make sure that things are done well and are done on time.
Okay. Wow, that is in fact very deep. Very deep. Thank you so much. We have two more, I think three more comments. In
Sure.
God we trust, saying leaders must recognize efforts made by all level of employees. And then we have Andrew Anochi saying appreciating and expressing gratitude can be a magic wand in the hands of a good leader. And you have introduced that beautifully. Thank you very much, Mr. Yob. That is very true. Thank you. And then in God we trust says, great, great. Recognition must not be delayed. Thank you so much, Mr. Yob. Thank you so much. In fact, all too soon, we have come to the end. But Mr. Yob, in fact, you have to give us a small summary because the information you're giving to us are so, so valid and very helpful. And
Right.
I wish
Right.
we even have more time to, but you shouldn't forget that Oliver Twist will definitely come and ask for more. I pray and
Sure.
hope anytime we come knocking on your
Sure.
door, you would
I'll
have.
be happy
So
to
please,
support.
what are your last words for our leaders listening to us, please?
Right. So let me conclude this way, taking a quotation from the Bible, Colossians 3 to 23 to 24. Whatever you do, work at it with all your heart as working for the Lord. People flourish where they are appreciated. Organizations thrive where gratitude becomes a culture. Leadership is not just measured on how many people work for us. Yes, it is not how many employees we have in the organization. No, but leadership is measured by how many people become better because we led them. How many people become better because we led them. May God help us that as we go to our workspaces, even in our homes, and as we engage our friends and our colleagues, God, through His Holy Spirit, will help us and give us the enablement to make sure that whatever we find our hands doing, we do it well. We will do it in all honesty. We will show gratitude. We will show love. And then we'll make sure that others are happy and we can work together and collaborate to do greater things. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. In fact, on behalf of Global Leadership Group, I would like to sincerely thank you, Mr. Michael Atuyok, for sharing such valuable insights with us today. We also extend our appreciation to all our viewers for joining us across different locations, and we all continue to lead with gratitude, celebrate success intentionally, and lift up those we serve. Thank you, and we look forward to seeing you in our next edition of Global Leadership Show. Thank you. Powerful summary. Good to learn from you. Thank you, Mr. York. This is from In God We Trust. So next month, until next month, by this time, I hope and pray that all that we've learned from Mr. York will put them into practice. Thank you and goodbye.
Wonderful. Thank you for having me.
One day the nail looked at the hammer and asked with quiet pain, "Why is it always you who hits me?" The hammer lowered its gaze and gently replied, "I don't strike to hurt you. I do it to help you fulfill your purpose." "But it hurts," said the nail. "I know," the hammer answered. "But without those blows, you'd never go deep into the wood. You'd never be steady. You'd never hold anything up." The nail fell silent, then asked, "And you? Don't you get tired of hitting?" "Yes, I do," the hammer whispered. "But it's worth it when I know my effort helps you find your place." The nail smiled, eyes a little misty, and said, "Thank you for pushing me, even when it hurts. Thank you for not leaving me halfway." Morale: sometimes life hits us, not to break us, but to put us exactly where we're meant to be. Pain can also be a form of progress. If this story touched something in you, follow me for more reflections that speak to the soul.
And it goes like this. We'll get hit your car and you'll need to kiss me. We'll talk for hours and lie on the backseat.
One day the nail looked at the hammer and asked with quiet pain, "Why is it always you who hits me?" The hammer lowered its gaze and gently replied, "I don't strike to hurt you. I do it to help you fulfill your purpose." "But it hurts," said the nail. "I know," the hammer answered. "But without those blows, you'd never go deep into the wood. You'd never be steady. You'd never hold anything up." The nail fell silent, then asked, "And you? Don't you get tired of hitting?" "Yes, I do," the hammer whispered. "But it's worth it when I know my effort helps you find your place." The nail smiled, eyes a little misty, and said, "Thank you for pushing me, even when it hurts. Thank you for not leaving me halfway." Morale: sometimes life hits us, not to break us, but to put us exactly where we're meant to be. Pain can also be a form of progress. If this story touched something in you, follow me for more reflections that speak to the soul.
And it goes like this. We'll get hit your car and you'll need to kiss me. We'll talk for hours and lie on the backseat. And we won't have the night when everything changes. You won't reply, I'll go back to strangers.
One day the nail looked at the hammer and asked with quiet pain, "Why is it always you who hits me?" The hammer lowered its gaze and gently replied, "I don't strike to hurt you. I do it to help you fulfill your purpose." "But it hurts," said the nail. "I know," the hammer answered. "But without those blows, you'd never go deep into the wood. You'd never be steady. You'd never hold anything up." The nail fell silent, then asked, "And you? Don't you get tired of hitting?" "Yes, I do," the hammer whispered. "But it's worth it when I know my effort helps you find your place." The nail smiled, eyes a little misty, and said, "Thank you for pushing me, even when it hurts. Thank you for not leaving me halfway." Morale. Sometimes life hits us, not to break us, but to put us exactly where we're meant to be. Pain can also be a form of progress. If this story touched something in you, follow me for more reflections that speak to the soul.
And it goes like this. We're gonna hit your car.